Hello everyone, I'm Pafua Yang. Here's what's happening in your community.
Be loud, who's ready for this?
More than 25 miles away from the site of George Floyd's fatal encounter with Minneapolis police.
This event is kind of just to bring everyone together and show that the black community has Maple Grove support.
Students showed up by the hundreds to Maple Grove's Rice Lake Elementary School.
We're in this together, and we're going to fight for equality.
This event was organized by Maple Grove Senior High's racial equity group called Real Talk. Its goal is to take a stand against racial injustice.
We've been setting up everything today.
Katya Cuthbert is a U of M student from Maple Grove who wanted to do her part to help.
So Maple Grove is actually 85% white. Being a white woman, I have a lot of white privilege. And even if it's something that you're not conscious of, it's our part to learn about it and learn how to help and learn how to stand up for my friends who are of color.
It's a message she hopes people in the city hear loud and clear. To get the word out, this youth-led march blocked traffic along busy streets, echoing a scene that's played out throughout Minneapolis and other major cities around the world over the past 2 weeks.
George Floyd!
George Floyd! I think oftentimes we say the children are the future, but they are the present. They see what's happening right now. They have voices that we need to be listening to.
These voices are making the case that although Maple Grove is far from the epicenter of the civil unrest, residents here shouldn't sit silent.
Because silence is part of the problem. I want the white community to feel comfortable to speak up and not feel like what they're saying isn't authentic.
After making a 1.5-mile peaceful march through the streets of Maple Grove, it all ends here at the town green for an afternoon of art, poetry, and songs. Reporting in Maple Grove, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
On Sunday, Bishop Harding Smith from Spiritual Church of God in Robbinsdale organized an event that would allow Floyd's friends and co-workers from the Salvation Army Harbor Lights in Minneapolis to visit the makeshift memorial at 38th and Chicago.
It was very moving. There were some people that were in tears, and these are people that really had a personal relationship with Mr. Floyd.
A Salvation Army spokesperson says Floyd worked at the facility from 2017 to 2018. They put out a statement that reads in part, Mr. Floyd was a former Salvation Army employee in Minneapolis, and the nature of his death is shocking to all of us who believe in a just, lawful, and equal society.
There's a lot of people that are in a shelter that have gone through a lot of trauma due to the death of Mr. Floyd, and they're looking for an avenue to release it.
Floyd's friends said that they felt like a heavy burden had been lifted off of them after visiting the memorial. They say they will never forget their friend, George Floyd. Sonia Goins, CCX News.
I'm happy to be back. I really am. It's good to be back.
On Wednesday, Minnesota restaurants will be back in business. At Redstone in Maple Grove, they are ecstatic, even if they can only operate at 50% capacity.
Very. You know, we've been in this business for a long time, and it's very good to get back to some normal life.
COVID-19 has devastated many businesses in the food and beverage industry.
It has affected everyone, and it's a tragedy.
But local establishments are hoping this week's reopening is a rebirth for restaurants, and that loyal patrons are hungry to eat out again.
I've been with Redstone for 9.5 years, and I have never seen anything like this.
Of course, the global pandemic has changed the rules of going out. Restaurants are now taking many steps to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Masks, gloves, all that stuff for every employee, social distancing. Every employee who comes in is getting, health screened. Guests are getting seated with, alcohol wipes. All menus are either single use or you can, with a QR code, you can scan it on your phone.
Meanwhile, in Brooklyn Park, the news isn't as good for Roasted Pear. The restaurant is a COVID casualty and has closed for good.
This business in particular is tough at 100% occupancy, so at 50%, I don't know how you make that work.
Roasted Pear was a Brooklyn Park staple. Owner Craig Rebers says It was a good run.
We raised quite a few kids through the restaurant, and almost all of them have worked here at one point or another, and it's been a real family business.
Now, according to a Facebook post by the restaurant's owners, they tried to stay open, but there was no viable path forward. In Brooklyn Park, I'm Eric Nelson for CCX News.
We're doing an end-of-the-year parade to say goodbye to all of our students before the summer.
How excited are you?
So excited.
I miss them so much.
Yeah, I'm excited to see them in person. Like, over FaceTime and Zoom has been okay, but I'm just really excited to see them for real.
Oh, it's fun. It's going to be great to see the kids and be able to say goodbye to them.
Woo! Happy summer! We miss you! I wrote, "Thank you, Earle Brown Elementary, 4th grade." It says, "I love you."
Mine says, "I love 1st grade," from Mrs. Crawford, but I just hope they have a great summer. Woo!
I want to say thank you to all the teachers that helped us through this year and tried everything they could to make it wonderful. I haven't seen my teachers for a while, and this is my chance to see them and say goodbye.
Well, today I'm excited because he's going to be able to see his teachers today, but he was a little bit sad when this all happened and started because he liked going to school. He loves going to school, and every day seeing his friends, his teachers.
And I liked how they taught me and took care of me.
This was his first year at Earle Brown, and he was really excited to be here. It's really important to have that closure.
These are going to be able to wave and say goodbye and see their faces.
As the National Basketball Association makes plans to return to the court this summer, a Champlin Park High School graduate is hoping to play in the league next season. Jason Malillo has more.
McKinley Wright IV is pursuing his ultimate dream. The Champlin Park alum has declared for the NBA draft.
Right, great pass to Bay, puts it in.
And is working hard to get ready.
Early in the pandemic, when everything was completely closed, I was doing a lot of running on the field, at home lifting. And that was really it. Just getting as good as I can while being at home, going to the field every day, ball handling at home. And then as things started to clear up, I've been in the gym every day now, working. I've been in Arizona training with my guy Phil. So that's been a great experience for me, a great learning lesson. I feel like I've been getting a lot better.
Wright was Mr. Basketball in 2017 and went on to star at the University of Colorado. This past season, he averaged 14 points and 5 assists for the Buffaloes.
And follow dunk McKinley Wright, the smallest guy on the floor.
Wright still has the option to return to Colorado for his senior year, but right now, he's all in on going pro.
I've had interviews with a number of teams now. Some teams see me late second round. Some teams see me undrafted. That's really it. I've been talking to teams. I've been getting some really good feedback where to improve my game at, and how I can stick around and play in the league for a long time. The process. This has been a great process for me. I've learned a lot throughout these last couple months. So it's been really good to me.
Getting to the league won't be easy, but McKinley Wright IV is a smart and tough young man. The adversity he's overcome includes growing up with a father who was incarcerated.
He was in prison for those 2 years. We still kept in touch. He wrote me letters. I wrote back. We had a lot of phone calls throughout that time. So our relationship has been tight. Obviously, it was hard when he wasn't here. It was emotional when he wasn't here. But now that he's home, he's kind of been a father figure for me, somebody that I want to be like, and not in the sense of going to jail, but in the sense of who he's turned himself into and the way he's turned his life around since he's been out.
Wright is the first person from his family to attend college, and whether his NBA dreams work out or not, Wright plans to return to Colorado to finish his degree. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Thanks, Jason. In his weekly CCX fishing tip, Hall of Fame angler Terry Tuma takes time to talk about monitoring weather patterns and conditions leading up to your next time on the lake. Here's Terry.
How many times have you heard the comment, should have been here yesterday? And that's so common because you go out there today and you didn't catch any fish. But part of the reason is weather conditions. We're not monitoring the weather conditions. Monitor weather conditions. Look at your phone. Listen to CCX Media, where weather forecasters are really monitoring these changes in the weather. Too often we dwell on cold fronts, is any changes in the weather factors, but what we have to do is what weather does is can going to push many times fish deeper, tuck them down into the weed growth if you're fishing for bass or sunfish, lower in the water column, if you will. And two here, so you went out there and say yesterday or the day before you caught them in 10 feet of water, you went out that 10-foot piece of structure, no fish, no bites. Well, go deeper. Here again, keep an open mind. Trust your gut. If your gut says, well, these fish aren't here, I got to go someplace else. Don't just say that they're not biting. That's not the case. So experiment. Keep an open mind. And if you do that and constantly change baits and lures, locations, and your speed, your retrieve, these are all going to help you in catching fish, even under tough fishing conditions. Give it a try. You'll be very impressed.
Thank you, Terry. For more local sports and news stories from the Northwest suburbs, please visit our website at ccxmedia.org. That's all for sports. I'm John Jacobson.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.